Hello, hello, hello! I'm James, I'm one of the members of the band of Ghosts and Other Forms, and welcome to one of our Music Tech Geek Out videos, where today we're going to be talking about guitar. Now, we make these videos very regularly, so do remember, give the video a like and click on that subscribe button down there to make sure you receive all the latest videos with our little hints and tricks on how to make cool noises for your music at home. Now, I am a guitarist who loves heavy metal. Now you might be thinking, who uses guitars in an electronica band like of Ghosts and Other Forms these days? Oh, well, you'd be right to ask that question. But I'm sure we can all agree that the electric guitar is a very versatile instrument. So you can definitely find a home for it in this kind of music. You just have to use your imagination. Now, it's far easier than trying to fit, say, a flute into this kind of music. I mean, who'd be crazy enough to try and do that, right?
Make flute cool again.
She would. That's Sean, she's in the band, she is our flute player, and she is really good. Anyway, the challenge here with the guitar is to try and make it sound a bit different and weird in comparison to other bands that base their music around guitar. Now, I remember watching an interview with Tom Morello from Rage Against the Machine a couple of years ago, and he was saying in that interview that when they started playing their music, what he tried to do with his guitar was to make it sound a little bit like having a DJ in the band, and we all know he came out with some incredibly interesting sounds there. So I've used that as a bit of inspiration, and I've tried to do something similar, although far simpler, because let's face it, I am not Tom Morello. So that's led to me playing around with a lot of guitar effects pedals, and today I'm going to share with you two little settings that I've found particularly useful and enjoyable. So the first one we're going to look at is in our cover of a song called Paul by a band called Big Thief. Let's check out the video now. Cool. So it's quite difficult, isn't it, there to tell what's the guitar and what's the synth, which is exactly how we like it. So let's have a look at what's going on here. Here is the riff if I play it on a clean sound on the guitar, so we can just hear the difference. Cool. So it's really basic and it's very plain. It's written like that because this is not supposed to be the lead instrument in this song. I don't want to be stealing the focus away from the electronica aspects of it. This is meant as an embellishment to the track. So as we've kept these guitar riffs really, really straightforward and stripped back. But to make them sound more interesting, we're going to obviously add some effects on. So the first thing we're going to look at is a little bit of compression. Let's have a quick look at what that's going to do to the guitar sound. It's very subtle, but have a quick listen. Let's have something a little bit funky here, shall we? So. So it's really great for just giving us that little kick, really Red Hot Chili Peppersy, which is really nice. So currently in my rig, I'm using the TC Electronic Forcefield, which is a really great little compressor. So I'd recommend checking that out. So the next thing we're going to do is we're going to add on a chorus effect. Now, as someone who grew up in the 90s, it's incredibly a nostalgic effect for me. I grew up listening to bands like Nirvana, lots of Seattle grunge, and that effect is very prevalent in that scene. So let's have a little listen to that now. So I'm just going to pop on my chorus pedal and we'll have a little listen to how that's going to sound. Cool. Cool. So it's making the guitar sound a little bit bigger and wider. So it's really good if you're doing these cutback riffs to fill out the sound a little bit and make it sound like the guitar's doing more work than it actually is, which is really great. And you can also obviously turn the settings up higher than I've got them on at the moment to make some weirder sounds. So I'm going to put my controls up and let's just have a quick listen to that. Cool, so I'll just move the depth and the rate controls up a little bit higher. So let's give that a go, shall we? Cool, so it's really weird and spacey, right, isn't it? Which is a lot of fun. I'm just going to put my controls back to how they were. Great. And the final thing we're going to use to get my favourite little signature sound now is we're going to use my absolute favourite pedal, which is the DigiTech Ricochet pitch shifter. Now this pedal is a cut down version of DigiTech's whammy pedal, which is really their bread and butter, their workhorse pedal. The reason why I really love this pedal is it's got a really interesting sound when you bunch it up an octave. It jumps it up, but it gives you this really interesting quality on the guitar. The DigiTech whammy pedals, they were famous for having this slight glitchy quality about them when you shifted them, and that's still prevalent on the Ricochet, and I love it. It sounds so great. It's really characterful. So let's jump the guitar up a little octave, and let's go and play that pull riff and just see how it's now sounding with these effects on there. Cool. Let's have a listen. How cool is that, right? So we still got that natural attack sound of the fact that it's a plucked string, but it's sounding so processed, it blends in with the synth, and it's kind of camouflaged like a ninja. Right, so the next thing I'm just going to show you is, again, in Paul, in the musical interlude section, we've got this really weird heartbeat sound. Check it out. And the cause of our death. So what's going on there? Okay, interestingly, that heartbeat is on the guitar. So how am I doing that? How am I making that sound? Well, again, I'm still using that DigiTech Ricochet, but instead of going an octave up, I'm going an octave down, as you can tell. I like to try and write some bass parts as well, and it's a really nice way of doing that on the guitar. The other thing that I'm using is this little baby. This is the Mooer lo-fi machine. So this is a lo-fi pedal, or otherwise known as a bit crusher. What it does, it reduces the sample and the bit rate of the guitar that you're playing. So it reduces the overall quality of the sound in many ways, and it makes it sound like an old school 8 or 16-bit games console. So if you want your guitar to sound like the theme tune to Super Mario, then it's a really, really great little toy to get. I was playing Master of Puppets by Metallica. I really wanted to hear how that would sound on a Game Boy. So let me just show you what I'm talking about here. So this is with the lo-fi pedal on, so... Cool. So it sounded like a Game Boy, right? That's pretty cool. And then I put the pitch shifter on. I wanted to hear how it would sound really low down. And you got this kind of like a... Ooh, that's interesting, right? Yeah. Sounds a bit like a heartbeat if you're on like... an ultrasound for like a baby scan and you hear the little heartbeat going. Yeah, it sounds cool, right? Cool. So let's have a look. What have we talked about today? We've talked the pedals that we've had a look at are the TC Electronic Forcefield. We've had a look at the TC Electronic Afterglow Chorus. We've had a quick play around with the DigiTech Ricochet pedal, and we've seen the Mooer Lo-Fi machine as well. So I think that's all we've got time for today, folks. So thanks very much for your attention and your time. Do come back, check out our other videos. So hit that subscribe button, guys. Check out our other videos, and I'll see you again very soon.